everybody. Jim from Jim's Coleus. How you doing? Gotta get out of the house. Can't sit and watch the news or anything like that. It's so depressing. I feel so bad for what's going on. So anyway, nice. It's a pretty nice warm day out here today. I get myself kind of worn. I get myself a little worked up, feeling when I feel like I need to get myself organized. So. Actually, I went in this morning and cleaned up the greenhouse. Took out a couple of racks for my bay window. Just looking ahead, because before I know it, it's going to be time to separate the Coleus germinations, and we'll definitely film that. So if you're following along and you're using the Jiffy pods or the little egg crates with the potting mixture, I'm going to shoot a video. I'm going to show you how to separate your Coleus germinations if you want to transplant them into other pots like I do. So, but I went in, cleaned out, just giving a quick cleanup, went over some of my leftover pots that I had, get some trays ready, just organize myself inside for the upcoming season. So let's go inside the greenhouse real quick and I'll show you what I did. All right, I got to do a little maintenance this spring. This you know, when you're a homeowner, I just taking a quick look around the house, and there's so much I need to do. I need to, not to get off the beaten track, but I just got some painting. The shed needs some work. Some of the wood's getting rotted, needs to be painted. My garage, the side door, the trim needs to be scraped and painted. But my greenhouse, I needed it. You know, I got these butterflies from an antique store, I guess 5 years ago, and not knowing, I guess they were just painted with latex paint, and as you can see, they kind of just dribbled down on the greenhouse plastic. So we'll take care of that. It just needs to be wiped down. I'll get to it. That's like number 425 on my list of 500 things I need to do. So, but anyway, let's get in here and see what's going on. Okay. Got the shade cloth. For those of you first time watching my channel, if you check back some of my older videos, I actually shot a video on how I built this. So you can build your own greenhouse, fairly inexpensive. I mean, it's well under $500 total, and I did it myself. It's not too difficult. I'm not really by any means a great handyman, but this one I tackled, so I was motivated. So anyway, I got I brought the 2 racks inside. I got 2 of the larger racks here. As you can see, it's an organized mess. Lots and lots of the nursery pots. Those of you wondering, these are I like these nursery pots. I get them on, you can get them at the dollar store if you're not buying bulk. Like I need several hundred, so I ordered these on Amazon or eBay. You could buy 100 for $13 or something like that. But there's 2 sizes. These are like a 4, and these are like a 3.5. And for years I had used the 4s, but I found these 3.5s. And you know what? For a single Coleus, for my purposes, because the majority of my Coleus, I'm gonna put in here the little rootings, and I'm gonna let them develop and mature in this pot, and eventually transfer them to other pots when I create my decorative pots like these here, or hanging baskets and so forth. I have most of my decorative pots indoors already, but I have quite a bit of different pots here. So I just came in. Let's see, it's about 45 outside, so it's like 75 in here. So in the winter time, I don't obviously. This isn't a 4-season greenhouse. But I just swept up, really cleaned it up, just organized myself. Just psychologically, this just relaxes me. It makes me feel like I have control, because it can get daunting when you grow 600-700 Coleus. Things can get ahead of, you can really get behind, I guess, or things can get ahead of you if you don't organize yourself. So I try to keep myself a month ahead of, where I'm going, where I expect. And again, I've been doing this for a few years. So, but it's nice and organized and clean and ready for the spring. Oh, one quick thing before we go inside. I just picked up 2 large 50-quart bags of Miracle-Gro potting mix. This is generally the stuff I use. It's moisture control. There's 2 bags. There's 2 types of Miracle-Gro potting mixture. There's the blue bag, the blue and green moisture control, which has more vermiculite in it, which are basically just little pieces, you can call them foamy pieces that retain water, that controls the evaporation and so forth. It keeps the potting mixture moist. So, and then there's the regular Miracle-Gro potting mixture in a green bag. That's just as good, either one, but I got 2 big. This is one. I have another one in my shed. 2 50-quart potting mixtures, and I'll generally go through 2, maybe and a half of these potting mixtures through the season with all the potting that I do. I don't bring any of my Coleus out here until late May because of the danger of night. In New Jersey, the frost date. The frost date is the date in where you live. If you live in a zone that gets winters, the frost date would be the latest date in the spring that you can expect a frost. But there's no guarantee, so the frost date here in New Jersey is like May 5th. But I don't bring any of my Coleus out in general until the end of May, when I know that the night temperatures are well above 55, 60, because I've learned in the past, I've made mistakes in the past. Whoa, excuse me, I'm not even drinking. No, I've learned in the past not to rush by getting things in here too soon, and then they get damaged. The cold, and even the little heater that I could put on in here, it's still, I found that I actually had damage to my younger Coleus by getting them out here earlier than they should be. Anyway, let's go inside and we'll show you the Coleus, how they're doing, and the racks. All right, hey, look, one thing about cats, the minute something's changed in the house, they get really upset. I moved their, this is Maximus, my cat. I have 2. I have Maximus and his sister Ruby. Anyway, this is basically the setup. If you're a follower, you know all about this. If you're a follower, you know all about my rack system here in front of my bay window. So you can fast forward a little bit, but anyway, this nice bright bay window gets lots of great sun, lots of light, bright light, and the Coleus thrive. So I have my my overwintered Coleus up top here. Yeah, this is probably the first season that I hadn't had a large amount of overwintered Coleus. I usually have at least one really large Coleus and a number of smaller, medium-sized overwintered Coleus. But I did really well at the farmer's market I participated in last year, and I sold pretty much everything. I mean, all of my large planters I sold out. I only had a handful of Coleus left, so this is it. So it did pretty well. And again, if you're first time here, and you're in New Jersey, New York area, Pennsylvania, I'm not too far from Philly, or if you ever, vacation in the New Jersey Shore area, or the Jersey Shore, as we call it, every Thursday from June to September, I participate in the Bayhead Farmers Market. Bayhead is in Ocean County, New Jersey. It's right on the ocean. It's a quaint little historic town. And every Thursday, June through September, on Bridge Avenue, right on the Manasquan Bank lawn near the municipal parking lot, myself and two other farmers, we set up our little stands and we sell our goods. I sell my Coleus, and they have wonderful locally grown fruits and vegetables, honey, cut flowers like sunflowers and so forth. Really, really good people. So if you're in the New Jersey area, just keep, mark that for the summer. It's again every Thursday, noon to 6 p.m. It's Bridge Avenue in Bayhead, New Jersey, Ocean County. It's about an hour north of Atlantic City, hour south of New York City, right on the shore. And I sell my Coleus. I grow these Coleus obviously to teach my followers how I grow my Coleus, help people grow Coleus and enjoy them. And then as we progress through the season, I separate these, as I mentioned, in the greenhouse, create pots, and then sell them at the farmers market. And along the way, I'll shoot videos during the season and teach you how to trim Coleus, transfer, maybe give you some ideas on potting your own. I just packed 12 packs of Jim's Coleus seeds. So here you go. You'll receive this mailer with 6 of my most popular Coleus seeds. They're fresh seeds they harvested from my Coleus plants. The Coleus that are featured on my videos. And each Ziploc baggie is marked on what type of Coleus it is, whether it's a Kong Red, a Kong Rose, or an Empire, a Colossal Marble, a Scarlet, and so forth. So go over to my eBay listing, Jim's Coleus, buy some seeds. It'll be helping out great organizations. I have a USO drive going on my Instagram channel. Last month it was paralyzed veterans and so forth. So we just keep on giving, because these guys, these men and women are heroes, and they deserve it. So, okay, so here we are. Got the Coleus out. They've definitely grown since even last week. Just gave them some water. Just make sure that they're, that again, I'm repeating myself, but I keep them out here. I have the racks I just brought in. I got these. You can get these on Amazon. You can get them at Home Depot, Lowe's. They're really easy to put together, cheap. I think these are, were they 4-foot racks? $50 or something. So they're really, really great for greenhouses. You can see this is my crazy over-seeded Coleus tray. We'll definitely be able to tackle that. And these are my wishbone Terranias, and there's some Coleus in there. And there's a few pods that haven't germinated yet, so we're watching that closely. I think those are some like mixed flowers I just planted for my personal garden, so they may germinate slower than Coleus because the seeds are planted into the soil, as opposed to Coleus seeds, which are dropped on top of the surface and pressed into the moist soil. That's right. So, all right. So let's get a close up. Let's go back to that beautiful rose Kong that we showed you the other day. Let's see how it's progressing. Maybe a few others. Okay. So, try to go a little slower. and see. See how, and it's hard to tell. Let me see if I can get something to give you an idea of the scale. Okay, so as you can see, these are really small, but the beautiful color is coming in. So these are still really young, but the exciting thing is we got the color coming in. And these are some scarlets. Scarlets are, they'll grow as these get older. The purple will be predominant, will be the dominant on most of the time. They're dominant, and the edges are green. And again, these rose kongs, they're beautiful, beautiful. They have white. Some of them will have a little black speckles. They'll have some like that pink or fuchsia in the middle. So they'll all be a little different. That's what's exciting about them. And at this point, I'm just making sure that the pods are moist. They're not, again, around the edges. Make sure, just get to know. I had mentioned it before, but again, I repeat stuff that I think that's important, very helpful. When you have trays like this or smaller trays, just get to know what it feels like to have a tray that has well-watered pods, and then you'll know right away, oh, whoa, that's dry, it needs water, besides the touch. And again, the ones on the edge will dry out before the centers, because the centers generally draw in the moisture from the others. So, again, do not fertilize these. No heat mats. Overusing heat mats at this point will stall your Coleus seeds. If you're in an area that is chilly, like mine is near a heat register, then you can use the heat mats indirectly. Maybe put them on a shelf underneath the tray, not directly underneath, but the lower, and the heat will rise up. If it's an enclosed greenhouse, that'll heat up, but it won't bake the tray. And when you have the heat mat directly under the tray, they can generally bake your young germinations, and that'll cause them to stop growing. They'll just stall, and they'll stay at this stage and eventually die. So I made that mistake a year or two ago. But they're doing pretty well. So at this point, no fertilizer. Keep them watered. I keep them out here. They'll be out on this tray pretty much all day. I know they're well watered. Lots of oxygen. Let the sun do the work. And every day, I'm going to notice more and more like that. Every day, I notice something drastic. And it's like, wow. All right, here's another tray. Here's some Lord Baltimore's. And again, it's too soon to really show any. You can see some plain color, but it's really too soon on these. Lord Baltimore's don't necessarily have a distinct color. They don't have the fuchsias and stuff like that. They're more of like a purple with the green. But you can see, these here, they have a little different coloration coming in. Some Darth Vaders over here. They're not going to show any color right now. Maybe you'll get a little bit of color on a few here and there. There's some Defiance. And they look similar to like the Kong Rose almost. They look very similar when they're young. Some of them will look very, very similar. little different color. These are a little overseeded, but nothing crazy. And I know the other tray, I have I know I have colossal marbles in there somewhere, and I have some chipotle, which are sort of like the jitters, but more. They're kind of more hairy looking, I guess, for lack of a better term. But these are a little bit behind the other ones, which is fine with me. So I don't have to go crazy separating all of them at the same time. There's a beautiful color. So we're in almost 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and as the days get longer and it's warmer outside, these will respond even more. Before I know it, once I separate them and pot them, that's when the magic really happens. All right, so warning, I'm going to show you my overseeded tray. This is really overseeded. I don't recommend you doing this, but you know, I grow so many Coleus and I only have so much room here. But I do pick some of them out and separate them. But again, you're better off not overseeding them crazy like this here. All right, so yeah, this is a madhouse. So I think I was a little tired when I was putting these in, but here we go. Got some Saturns coming in. They're not really showing a little bit of color, and again, some of them look similar to Kongs, but these are Saturns. Some Kong roses. I grow a lot of the Kong rose because they're my favorite and they sell the most. So I just really I grow an awful lot of them. And there's some colossal marble. And you can actually see, if you really look at that here, let's try to get a good close-up of this. There's your young colossal marble. And here's a mature one. And they may have some white, a little pink, and green, and they may be this color. They may be like a Darth Vader purple with the little speckles. So there's two different color varieties. You can see that coming in, sort of that purple. They could be that majority of the color, that color with the green speckles and a little of the white. So basically, that's a good example, but you can really see. And again, these are really young. Colossal marble. So again, some of these that are really overseeded, I'll pick out. But I'm pretty good at separating these. I mean, there's a few here that are really crazy. But again, I've done this long enough that I can separate these pretty easily. I'm pretty successful. It just takes a little time. And one last thing I like to do to organize myself, like I said, I have to keep myself ahead of these guys. So I have to be ahead at least a month or two and make sure I have all my stuff organized so I know where it's at. I know what I have. Then I can sleep well. Because like I said, once these start to rock and roll and they start getting big enough that they need to be separated, I need to have my stuff ready to go. So I'll show you real quick some pots that I just picked up. All right, so you know, over the past month or so, I go to like most people, you're at the dollar store probably 10 times a day. I'm there an awful lot. It always seems like you forget something. But anyway, now as the spring, as we get into spring, the dollar stores, I like the Dollar General. There's Family Dollar, Dollar General, Dollar Tree. every time I go in, I'll take a look. I don't like I used to be able to order these bulk. Like, perfect example, I love these fluted, colored plastic pots. And I ordered about, I guess 4 years ago, about maybe 300 of them, of all different colors: red, yellow, orange, green, and blue. And this is all I have left. And I don't see them. I used to be able to order them directly from Dollar General online. So I didn't have to go in the store and take all their stock. I just feel, I feel bad taking all the pots, because other people should be able to enjoy them, So, these are such nice pots. I could just, no matter how many I have, I feel like I never have enough. So, but anyway, I had some left over from last year, a few. So I just actually ran them through the dishwasher really, really lightly on just really lightly to get any contamination out of them. And here's a few pots that I've just picked up over the past week or two. And these are just little ideas. I have to drill them out. Every pot you get, whatever it is you're going to be potting, whether it's coleus, vegetables, anything, make sure you drill drain holes on the bottom, like these here. Now these I got, again, online. I might have picked these on eBay. I maybe ordered 50 of them, and they all pretty much sold. These are left over from last year. I didn't think I even planted anything in them. So I have these. These are something new. I saw these. These are a little more expensive. These were like $5 a piece. So I try to stay with stuff that's like $1 each, so it's more cost effective for when I sell these. Because I don't overprice these things. I don't mark these at $30 a piece. But anyway, again, I'll drill 2 or 3 holes on the bottom here, and I'll make a nice little flower arrangement. And again, follow along. Subscribe if you haven't. Follow along, and I will show you when the time comes. I will film when I place coleus in every one of these pots. I'm going to actually film how I do it and give you some ideas. And you can get these very inexpensively, and they're easy to transport for me. So I don't go really crazy with the big planters. I do have a few of them that I'll do, but I like to stay with these smaller planters. These are pretty nice. Again, they're $1 each. Drill holes, like 2 holes on the bottom is good. Just picked up a few. These are really excellent. And again, if you're following along and you watch my videos through the years, you'll recognize many like these. I get a ton of these, and they get a lot of them in stock at the dollar store, so I don't feel bad if I pick up 10. Every time I go there, I'll pick up 5 or 6 or 10 or 4 or 5. Here they only had like 8 or 9, so I just grabbed 2. These are the first time I've ever seen these. So they're just plastic. So I just grabbed a couple of them. I like to have a little variety, and they display really well during when I set up my farmer's market. So just some ideas for you if you're growing your own. And hey, just for gifts, say you're growing 25 coleus. You can buy a couple of these pots, whatever, and you give them for Mother's Day or whatever. Birthday gifts, anything, any kind of gift, just a gift to give. It's a great idea, and they'll be really, really appreciative of it because it's such a personal, unusual gift. All right, so keep following along. Subscribe if you haven't. Again, if you need seeds, I just packed up my final 12 packs. I mean, this is it. I sold a lot from October till now. I sold a lot over the fall, more fall and winter, more than I kind of expected. But anyway, if you need seeds, go to my eBay listing, Jim's Coleus. Next year, starting after I harvest, I'm getting ahead of myself, but after I harvest my seeds next year, I'm going to have even more seeds for sale. I try to get different variety of Coleus seeds, so I have a little something different every year, but a lot of the same are favorites like the Kong. So, but anyway, keep doing what you're doing. Any questions, comments, just leave them, leave a message here, or again, Instagram. I guess another couple of weeks, I'm going to separate the germination. So stay tuned. Keep your little notification on. And when I do that, I'll give you a heads up. And I'll show you how to separate the germinations if you're using the pods. How you actually take the mesh off and gently separate the little coleus. And by then they're not going to be really little. And I'll show you what size is a good size to safely separate coleus. Now, do you have to separate your coleus? No. I mean, I do because I have so many. But say you bought a tray of 12 of the Jiffy Pods, or you have a little egg crate filled with potting soil, and you have 2 or 3 coleus in each one. You don't have to separate those germinations if you don't want. You could just take that pod and place it in potting soil, and you don't have to take the netting off either. You can just put it right in, put a hole in the center of your potting soil, put the pod right in, and let it grow. And the roots will go right through the netting, which they probably already will by at that time. They'll see the roots actually come through the netting. But you don't have to separate your coleus is what my point is. But I do, and for those of you who also will be doing that, stay tuned. I'll show you exactly how to do it safely. Coleus are pretty resilient. They're pretty tough little fellas, so you don't have to really worry about when you separate them. You might rip a root here and there. They're pretty prolific, tough little fellas. So we'll be getting to that in a couple of weeks. I'll give you a heads up before then. So meantime, just keep what you're doing. Any questions, comments, you know where I'm at. Leave me a comment message. It's great to have you guys watching, following along. Thank you very much. Pass my channel along to everybody, and stay tuned. Have a great weekend.